Welcome you to the workshop meeting for the Verona Borough Council for January 29th, 2019. Please stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Mr. Kenna.
President Trabicki Bell.
Here.
Mr. Conti is at work with a water break. Dr. Carpenter.
Present.
Ms. Loava. Mr. McCarthy.
Here.
Mrs. Provenza.
Here.
Mr. Suchovich is also out. He got called into work as well. Mayor Recupero.
Here.
And I am also here.
Okay, council will now hear registered comments from Mr. Brown.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Happy New Year to everyone. Curtis Brown,
You too.
6708 East Fair Vista, Verona PA 15147. Bringing you the bottom numbers report for the text platform. Currently, we are at 627. That's 89% of the $700 subscriber goal that we had talked about. Total unsubscribes for the year 2018 were 14. That's less than 2%. For a lifetime, for the past 3 years, we've had 31 people opt out, which is about 5%. The number of messages that were sent, that's campaign messages as a whole, there were 58 messages we sent out. So in between food truck roundup, farmers market, and information about the movies, 58 messages that were sent. Total that meant there were just north of 27,000 messages sent out over the gateway to the residents here. What we would like to do for 2019 is dive a little bit more into department utilization, meaning the fire department, maintenance staff, and possibly council being able to use the text platform as well. So if information needs to go out regarding the fire department or the workers or the volunteers, we can send out information for them, the maintenance staff, if they all need to be at a certain place at a certain time. Information can go out via text to them as opposed to a phone call or possibly an email. Make it a little bit more streamlined, and also council as well. So if there's information needs to be known about meetings, cancellations, and things like that, we can put all the information in the council members and shoot a text to everyone to let you know about whatever you would like to be informed about. What we also like to do is put together web links in the text messages as well. So if there's additional information that needs to go out, we can put a web link to send out surveys, forms, and things like that. So it's a little bit more than just text messaging, but more information can be sent so the residents, those interested, can get that information as well. We'll also be looking at doing additional signs here in the borough. We've talked about possibly up at Cripps Field, one where John Nicholas, everyone comes out where the McDonald's is, and possibly another area to let individuals know how and that they can text in. And the information that just went into the newsletter has been doing great over the past couple of days. There's constant signups over the past 2 days or so. With that, it's time to renew as well for the 2019 year. Any questions?
We don't know how many Verona residents use this. This is basically anybody. Wilkinsburg, Penn Hills, Plum Borough, Oakmont, anybody can use this.
Well, anybody can use the service, but we're finding that the people who are going to use it are people who will be interested in the Verona. So you don't know based upon the number, because exchanges are not typical anymore. And cell phones can be from here or from anywhere, whether they're purchased or if there's a transplant. So we know the people who are texting in are interested in what's going on in Verona. That's indicative of the number of people who are opting out. It's a really small number based upon the number of subscribers that we have. So the information is getting to the people who definitely want to be informed about what's going on in Verona.
Curtis, we sent out 58 messages in 2018. With your other clients, is that typical? Are we not using it much? Do most people send out more than 58 messages in a year? Actually, you would be on the top end. We work with a pizza shop. They do several a week. But that's normal because they're sending out deals and pizza specials. But in regards to informational, you guys would be right in line. Okay.
This doesn't include the school district at all. I mean, like tomorrow there's a school closing.
He texted it.
Yes, I sent that out today.
Pardon?
I got a text
Oh, you
on
did?
that, yeah.
Okay.
So anything that goes on with the school district, information will go out. And if there's information specifically involving Verona, then we can send that out, of course, to Verona residents as well. So, we can make sure we're just all on the same page about getting the information in so it can go out.
Well, did you get the text from the warming center? Did you send him, did that go through
I
too?
think so, pretty sure.
Okay, because you had mentioned that to get Curtis
Yeah,
involved.
because I didn't get it.
I don't know that we sent him anything about that yet.
Well, you and I talked on that.
Yeah, we talked, but I'm not sure if, did we get
Right,
it?
I got basic information.
I have Verona
I
Borough
need-
Reminder Borough Council Workshop. Oh,
Somebody was
no,
talking.
You're right, no,
He
we
was
didn't do
talking.
that.
Yeah, so on that, we need a little more clarity. Here's why. I know there's information and instructions that go along with the warming center. So I want to make sure that the information we put in
Yeah,
will be exactly.
which was kind of what we talked about, making sure it's clear that,
Yeah, but I mean, we need to get it to him so it goes through.
all right, I'll get you something tonight.
And the information that goes out in that text message most likely will not fit in just a text message. Because we want to be real clear on what individuals are expected to do. So what we do, we'll put a link in that and give them information, specifically what they need to do, where they need to call. So they'll have all that information. It's not just a text message that says show up.
Okay.
So we want to make sure that they're definitely more informed.
Okay.
So campaign messages in 2018, those have to do specifically with the movies in the park, the food trucks?
That will be
In the
all the
form-
messages. that-
Everything we've
Okay.
set up.
That's an example of, but that will be all the messages.
Okay. I'm just trying to understand what is a campaign
A
message?
campaign message will be the heading for the message that's going out.
Okay,
So if we're letting you know regarding the flooding and things like that, those will be included into the campaign messages.
okay. So the campaign messages of 58 are included in these total of 27,000 outgoing
Correct.
messages?
That will be
Okay.
an aggregate total of the total subscribers on average for messages
Okay.
going out.
All right.
And I know that I got, I talked to Carrie and you, and I remember you guys were over Mechanical Coffee getting things together, so you guys, we're,
Yes, correct.
yeah.
That has worked out well, so I get
Right.
information from Carrie on a regular basis as well. So I am.
Right, so everybody knows what's going on.
Correct.
So can we discuss this and think about it and bring this to the February meeting, or do you want to go ahead and
Yeah.
vote on it now?
It's up to you guys.
Oh. So the renewal, that seems like that's less than last year.
The renewal, no, actually, it's the same amount as last year. From the year before, it was a setup fee, so that all was in there, putting the platform together. So that does bring the price down.
Okay, I know it was $200 a month.
Well, that was a setup fee and everything 2 years ago. That would have
But
been,
didn't we also pay last year?
Yeah, it was $2,200, I believe.
Oh, all right, well then it's less than $200 a month then.
Correct.
Cool. I'll make a motion to accept Curtis's request for renewal for 2019.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Okay. Thank you.
All right.
Okay, council will now hear comments from the public. Please approach the podium, clearly state your name and address, and limit your comments to 3 minutes. Okay. Mr. Kenna.
I don't have a whole lot, just the State of the Borough newsletter is out there for everybody. Just a couple things from it. I know Pat's gonna talk about the police. The streets department, since Mom's not here, they've been out there plowing and salting and trying their best to try to keep the roads clean. There's a lot of surface water this year with springs and like that, so we're trying to get with the building, the homeowners to try to get, if it's a result of a homeowner, a sump pump or a wet yard, things like that, we're trying to get that fixed, so. Code enforcement, Mark sent out postcards to all non-owner occupied properties to remind them that snow and ice need to be removed from sidewalks within 8 hours, or there will be citations sent out. So we've gotten some responses from that. So we sent out some citations at the last storm. So the auditors, I think Ray was going to talk about it, but he's not here either. The auditors were here for the last couple weeks and to work on 17 and 18. They're just about done with 17, and we're very pleased. They said that the first day they were here, they said they've never been that far on day one of an audit here. So they were very pleased with the progress that's been made, and they expect 17 to be done within the next week or two, and 18, they said they'll be done by May because they're going to get busy with taxes here. So that's pretty much it. I did want to have an exec session on real estate.
Okay,
So
thank you. Mayor?
I talked to Mark on Friday, and like Jerry said, I had just passed that around. I don't know if everybody's seen that. That's what he's going to send out, and him and I think that's a great idea that Mark came up with, and I told him that, and he agreed. He's going to implement for grass and leaves in the springtime too. And I believe, we talked about sending it out to everybody. Yeah, all the homes, not only the businesses, everything, homes, businesses.
we did this one quickly because Marcia had this mailing list because of the regulated rental. It was real quick. We could get it right out. But she's working on a full address list for the entire community.
No, that's a very good idea. The other thing too is I had turned the emergency management over to Mark, and he's finding out what I found out. It's time consuming. But anyways, him and I discussed about the cold weather, and he did issue a warming center. He opened up the Borough Building for a warming center, and you were to call 911. If your furnace goes out or something, to call 911. And an officer will return, but it's only meant for until somebody can come or you can find a place. It's not to camp out here for a week, until you get your furnace fixed. It's just an emergency warming center is basically what it is. And the other thing too is we really do need to get on, we need to look into Center Avenue and Athletic Street. It's very bad. Dom and I talked this morning. I seen a car go up yesterday, and the ice is probably about 3-4 inches thick, built up. And a car was coming down, and whoever was driving, they kind of moved over, but the car bounced back because it hit that ledge going up. Whoever travels that will understand what I'm saying. And as they moved over, it kicked it back in, under the yellow line. Somebody's going to get hurt there eventually. There's a lot of ice built up there. Same way with Wood Street too.
And there's a bad flow from 4th down to 3rd.
Yeah.
And Gus bottomed out his car last night.
I talked to AJ on that. It's coming from Penn Hill's side, I believe he said.
So it's bad.
Yeah.
It's really bad.
So I know Matt had congratulations to him and his wife. They had a baby girl, so he probably ain't going to be available until, Monday, and that's fine. But yeah, we need to, the board needs to, move on that, because it is getting bad, especially with this weather. And the other thing I have is, we talked about the land bank, and Amanda called me 2 weeks ago, and I would like to set something up for the February workshop meeting. She asked me how long I wanted it. I said probably 45 minutes to an hour, would be a safe time. Then they'll explain everything what goes along. I'm going to ask, I'd like to ask Mark to be here also. And, the borough manager, I'd like to have him get letters out to the school board, because we can't do it without the school, agreeing. And I think they need to come in and understand what this is. Tom Benecki from the COG, he wants to be there. He has been trying to get communities to join in on this, and he doesn't know why it's a standstill. Maybe it's the school district because they're the final say. So Fox Chapel is in on it. Sharpsburg, I talked to Mayor
over there, and Matt said that they had 200 abandoned homes, properties, vacant properties. They're down to 20, in this program, and he said it works very well.
Could we use the text alert for that?
What do you
Yeah,
mean?
with Curtis.
You mean?
To put the February workshop on, that there's going to be a land bank discussion.
That would be up to the board. I mean, I think, my opinion, I think it would be up to the powers that be to understand before the public, that's totally up to you. That's fine.
No, I was just asking. I didn't,
Because
just
I
trying
really
to get-
don't, Craig, he also said, and Monroeville's involved in that too, and they say it works out very well. Craig represents Monroeville, and he gave a little brief speech on that, and I'm like the rest of it, I'm interested to see what it's about, how it is, and that's why I like to have Mark here also, so if anybody has any questions, I already gave her, quite a few questions on it. So we kind of got a head start on some good questions to go, but we need the school board here because without the school board, it's not going to happen. They are, one of the deciding factors. The county is 100% in on this, and it's got to be the borough. It's all three taxes: the borough, county, and school district. And a lot of times the school districts, like anything else, they don't want to give up the property. They're already $20,000 in the hole with taxes, so get rid of the property so it could get back on. The county and the boroughs are willing to do that so it can get back on the tax, books.
Mm-hmm.
But the school district, for some reason, they just keep holding on to it and, So if it's all right with you, I'd like to tell them that we're on for the February workshop at
Do it.
7 o'clock.
Do it.
Okay.
Start at normal time, 7 o'clock.
Yeah, yeah. Because this time of year, we don't, like today, we don't have much going on this time of year, with the cold weather and everything. That's all I have for now.
Thank you. I just have a few things. We held off on approving the meeting minutes for November 13th and 27th and December 11th on January the 8th. So I would like to make a motion to approve those minutes so that we can get them filed away.
I'll make the motion.
I made the motion.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Will you second?
I will. I'm sorry, I
Okay.
wasn't listening. Excuse me.
Motion by me and second by Mrs. Provenza. Are there any questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Talked with Sergeant Francos yesterday, and the bike derby will be scheduled, is scheduled for June the 8th. So Pat, I was hoping that you would help us try to organize and stuff
Yeah.
with that, get that going. Okay, I attended the COG meeting this month. One of the important things that was discussed was that beginning in April, Mr. Benecki had suggested that maybe there be a meeting with all the boroughs and have the boroughs send 1 or 2 people from their public works departments to learn how to use the new equipment. So they're anticipating the beginning of April.
Beginning of April.
Yeah, sometime in the beginning of April. And that is everything from me.
Excuse me, Madam
Yeah.
President, I had these 2 handicap plaques under my paperwork. I just realized I have them, that I have.
Okay.
I have 2 requests for handicap plates. One is at 477 Center Avenue, and the other one is at 413 Center Avenue. They have all their paperwork in from the doctor and from the state and everything. We just need approval from the board to put a sign up.
Okay, I'll make a motion for approval for the handicap signs at 477 Center and 413 Center.
I'll make the motion.
Motion by myself and second by Mrs. Provenza. Are there any questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. And that's everything, Mayor?
Yes, thank you.
And that was everything from myself, so Mr. Conti is absent. Mr. McCarthy?
As everybody can see, we had 2 officers that we interviewed, and I'd like to make a motion that we would hire both of these officers. They've completed background check by the chief, and it's been approved, so we get them to work as soon as we can. Nathan, I'll spell his last name, S-W-I-E-R-K-O-S-Z, and Paul Schellinger is the second officer.
Motion by Mr. McCarthy to hire the 2 part-time officers. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mrs. Loalbo. Are there any questions? I just have a question. Do they have vests? And
Yes, they're both
their own
working
guns?
part-time
Okay.
someplace else.
Okay.
Actually, Nathan will probably be working 32 hours, and Paul will be filling in more so than any
Okay.
for now.
Okay, any other questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
And we have to reschedule a meeting with the 2 full-timers. There's some language in the contract that needs to be resolved, and as soon as we get that resolved, I want to get with Craig so that he can be at the meeting as well, so we can get it all done at one time. And we're moving with that.
Okay, thank you.
That's it.
Okay, Mr. Suchovich is absent. Dr. Carpenter?
Okay, so there are still some corrections, rewriting going on, mostly with the parking permit ordinance, a little bit with the vacant property ordinance. So one or both of them are going to be re-advertised, and then the idea is that we will be able to have enough time for the advertisement to be able to vote on them on Tuesday, February 12th, the main meeting. And that's all. Is there anything else from the ordinance meeting I should bring up that you guys can think of?
I can't think of anything.
So, and then I just would like to have 2 minutes for the exec session as well, for personnel. And we were gonna have an exec session for something else.
Yeah, I did I said it on real estate.
Okay, we were talking about yesterday about authorizing, Mark was talking about authorizing for demolition, just so that we authorize and we can advertise for it at any time, so motion to authorize
Yeah, so we would need a motion to authorize
for demolition for 473 Union Street and 558 Church Street.
Do we want to do all 4 of them, or just those 2?
He wanted to get, I started the 2 of them.
Okay.
So we would authorize Craig to put together an advertisement when deemed necessary. So
Okay.
Okay.
that's- we would need.
All right.
So do you want to make that motion?
Yeah, I just don't remember the addresses. I'll make
Okay.
a motion to
473 Union,
Union and
558 Church,
for them to be advertised for demolition,
for a demolition hearing.
for a demolition
Yeah.
hearing. Thank you.
Okay. Motion by Dr. Carpenter for demolition, authorizing for demolition. Is there a second?
Demolition hearing,
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll second for demolition hearing,
Yeah.
not demolition.
Okay, so motion by Dr. Carpenter, second by Mr. McCarthy. Are there any questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Anything else, Dr. Carpenter?
No, thank you.
Okay. Mrs. Loalba?
I just have one thing I'd like to bring up again. I know we talked about it briefly, looking for somewhere to store the popcorn machine and the popcorn come summer movies. I know, it has been in different garages, but if it breaks or something like that, it is borough property. We could maybe, the night before or something, if we need to get it, set up something where maybe we can meet somebody to get it out of the garage or wherever it may be stored.
So I talked to Dom and we talked to AJ, And what they were talking about, if it's acceptable, would be for one point of contact to have a key. We were thinking Mike would be responsible for the key, so we know that Mike will be there anytime anybody's in there, and we'd keep everything on the cold side of the garage, and that they would make room for that.
We always, when myself and Earl Hendricks, Councilman Hendricks, started the Movies in the Park, actually the Hula Bar donated the popcorn machine, but I think since then it, broke and we got a new one. We put it in the chamber room on the cold side, in the storage room back there. So that's where we would keep it, so it's out of the way, it don't get broke, the same way with the popcorn and everything.
Yeah.
It would be in that room, so you're more than welcome to reuse it, because that's where it's always been. I don't know.
Yeah, the question was about
The key.
the key.
Right.
Who's gonna have access to the garage without them knowing, you know what I mean? So that's what
Well, another thing
decided.
too is the street department, before they go home at 3:30, they bring a table out anyways. They could bring the table out and just set everything up there. And
Yeah.
as far as bringing it back, I see what you mean, yeah.
Okay, could it be stored in here?
Until Monday morning, yeah.
Until Monday
I don't see-
morning.
I mean, I don't know, that'd be up to the board.
Or in the kitchen.
Yeah,
But,
I think we're good.
Yeah,
Yeah, I like the idea of storing it in one area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fine, so everybody knows where it is.
Right.
Yeah.
'Cause we stored everything in there, all,
That's a great
just-
idea.
Yeah, I think that we just want to make sure we knew who had a key. We don't want several keys floating around.
Sure.
That has happened in the past, and
Sure.
if people have,
I guess
There's
my
too many
only
keys.
question is, with Mike's travel schedule, what do we do if there's
I'll
a,
take care of that.
okay.
If that's gonna be allowed.
In the pallet of hugs we get from dailies, we always left, right outside there, on the pallet.
yeah. Thanks, Mike. Okay,
Thank you, that's all I have.
thanks, Mrs. Labo. Mrs. Provenza.
Yes, thank you, Sandy, Madam President. I am pleased to announce all the paperwork has been completed for the Banner community, and I am just waiting now for the approval that everything was done to the letter. And the only thing they did ask this year, they wanted confirmation that we really had a newsletter. So the minute I got it, I ran to the post office immediately, so they have that too now. That was the only thing they needed, and they have that, so we're just waiting for the approval. And that'll probably be first or second week of February. And newsletter is finally out. I'm going to apologize, it was very late this year because the printers took a week off in the week of Christmas, and then again the week of New Year. I think they work one day each week, and it threw them way behind. But we did finally get it out, and I always put a number of them out in the lobby in case somebody needs an extra one or they didn't get one. They're always on the rack right out here in the lobby. So I hope everybody liked the newsletter, and the next one will go out. We'll have everything at the printer probably about the second week of March. And it should be in the doorstep, in the mailbox, first week of April.
So when are the articles due?
We'd like to have them first, second week of March, second week at the very latest.
Okay.
So if anybody has anything, matter of fact, if you have it even much sooner, that's not a problem. You can just get it to us, and then we'll have it.
So the week of March 3rd?
Yes, that would be great.
Anything else?
No, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, council will now hear from the public on public-related items. Please approach the podium. Clearly state your name and address and limit your comments to 3 minutes.
Good evening.
Good
Dave
evening.
Allen, 723 Bruno. I know a few weeks ago, the website was released by Upcode Studios. It looks like there's a lot of issues from the last revision that weren't corrected, and there's a lot of, looks like, new issues between broken links, pages that are blank or inaccurate information. So I think it's pretty disappointing. I think we should all be pretty disappointed with the amount of time it took them and the amount of money spent. So I just wanted to alert.
can we get on the phone sometime this week and go through it and
Yeah.
I have access to make all the changes now, so.
Okay, I mean, I was gonna offer if there's any help that I can offer
Yeah.
to help out, but I just wanted to make council aware that it's,
I was aware of it,
Okay.
but thank you.
so, yep, thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, can I have a motion for adjournment?
I'll make a motion.
To exec session, and we do not need to return. Okay? Motion motion by Mrs. Provenza,
I'll second.
second by Mr. McCarthy. Any questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
That's a record, 7:30.
Cold.
That's right.